Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're looking at Sonic 2 8-bit remake. Now, if you remember, Sonic 2 actually had an 8-bit version on the Game Gear and Master System. And let's be honest, that version kinda sucked. But some fans decided to get together and remake the game. And I've got some thoughts on it. There's some good here, but also some bad here. It's most certainly not a masterpiece, but it is an interesting game. So let's dive into it. Let's start with what the remake adds mechanically, which is the team system. In the original 8-bit Sonic 2, you could only play as Sonic, and the whole story revolved around him rescuing Tails. But here, Tails is just fine. In fact, you can swap between him and Sonic at any time, and it doesn't stop there. There are actually multiple teams you can play as. You, of course, have the team with Sonic and Tails on it, but you also got a team with Knuckles and Amy, Mighty and Ray, and then, my personal favorite, and easily the most confusing one, Shadow and Metal Sonic. Yeah, someone explain to me why Metal Sonic is teaming up with Shadow. I mean, the game never explains it, and to my knowledge, the game has no story. It's just a bunch of levels thrown together for fun. But still, why would Shadow be paired with Metal Sonic? Metal Sonic has a flight ability, but if you needed to give Shadow a partner with the power to fly, give him Rouge! I say a Shadow Rouge team would have been awesome. I mean, I am a huge Shad Ooge fan, but seriously, that's not the full point. It's just a team with Shadow and Metal Sonic makes absolutely zero sense any way you look at it. Another thing you can do in this game is collect the Chaos Emeralds in special stages. You get to the special stages by passing the goalpost with more than 50 rings, and honestly, they're not that hard at all. I beat most of them on my first try, and once you get the emeralds, the game basically breaks, because now you have super forms. And before every boss fight, a giant ring appears, letting you go super during the battle. That means you're invincible throughout the entire boss fight. In other words, the Chaos Emeralds turn this game into easy mode. It's fun, but it's also kind of ridiculous. And next up, before we talk about the levels, I've got to get one thing out of the way right now. The music. And I'm sorry, but the soundtrack in this game sucks. Like, really sucks. There were zones that I wanted to rip my ears off because of how bad it was. I don't know who composed it, but I'm certain you can do better than this. I mean, just listen to this crap and tell me it doesn't just grind your ears. Alright, next up, let's talk about the levels. First up is Underground Zone, the very first stage in the game. And honestly, I was kind of surprised. Most Sonic games kick off with Green Hill, or some variation of green plains, grassy fields, or maybe a beach in a few cases. But this one, straight into a mine. No sunshine, no palm trees, just dirt, carts, and pits, as well as spikes. As the first level, it's not too bad. It does a decent job of introducing the game's mechanics, but there are a few too many death pits for a beginner stage, in my opinion. The minecart gimmick is cool, even though you can't really control it. At least you can hop out of it whenever you want, which saves it from being a complete and total disaster. And this stage really makes use of the flight abilities of certain characters. Then we get to the boss fight of the stage, Eggman, and oh boy, this has to be the dumbest decision of his entire career. Sonic is literally about to fall into a pit. Problem solved. Hedgehog gone. Eggman, you are now free to build the Eggman Empire. But wait! Oh no! Eggman swoops in, picks him up, and drops Sonic into a boss arena instead. And what's his master plan? Was it better than just letting Sonic fall to his death? No! He's gonna crush him with giant balls. Yeah, real 300 IQ move there, Eggman. Not to mention, he runs over the monster he was also trying to use against Sonic near the end in the process. Great job, genius. Next up is Sky High Zone, the infamous Sonic 2 level with the hang gliders. In the original, these things were an absolute nightmare, but in the remake, honestly, they're not that bad. If you're playing as Mighty and Ray, you don't even need them. Ray can basically jump indefinitely, so the hang glider becomes irrelevant. But if you're using any other team, you're gonna have to grab one. And in the remake, they're not that bad to control. They're actually pretty easy. Just tap the A button to go up and stop tapping to go down. It's pretty simple once you get the rhythm down. Sure, it might take a little trial and error, but eventually you'll get it. And once you do, the level flows fine. The design is interesting enough, but overall, it's not amazing, not terrible, just kind of a normal Sonic level. Nothing groundbreaking, but nothing rage-inducing either. Next up is Aqua Lake Zone, and this one's got some gimmicks that really got on my nerves. First off, credit where it's due. The graphics and art design are great. This level has a really cool aesthetic. Act 1 starts you off in a snowy topside area, which looks nice until you randomly get frozen into a block of ice. No warning, no logic, just BAM! You're frozen. And you've got to mash the button like your life depends on it to break out. Caught me off guard the first time, but once I realized the gimmick, I was ready for it. At all times. Then there's the bubble gimmick. You ride these bubbles upward at certain parts in the level, and it's slow, not terrible, just slow and mildly annoying. But these sections are short, so it's tolerable. Act 2, which takes place underwater, and is this game's water level, by the way, uses the bubble gimmick a lot. But with enough patience and practice, you'll get through it. Now let's talk about the boss. The seal. I swear, this dumb, smug seal gave me more game overs than any other part of the remake. I could not figure out how to beat it. You see, this stupid, dumb, smug seal blows up a ball and throws it at you as its main form of attack. And here's the kicker. The only way to damage it is to jump on the ball while it's being inflated. Which is such a weirdly specific mechanic that I didn't even think to try it until I looked it up. But once I looked it up and figured it out, yeah, it wasn't that hard. But seriously, who would think to jump on the ball while it's being inflated? Seriously. Next up is Oil Ocean Zone. And Act 1 of this level is pure badassery. It opens with you surfboarding across the oil ocean itself. And even though this section only lasts about 33 seconds, it is so cool. I mean, come on. Shadow the freaking Hedgehog is surfboarding on an ocean of oil. How is this not awesome? Honestly, this moment is probably my absolute favorite section of the entire game. Totally not gonna lie. After that, we get to Act 2, which is basically just an 8-bit demake of Oil Ocean from the 16-bit version of Sonic 2. And it's fine. Nothing terrible, nothing amazing. Act 2 just kind of exists. It's okay, but it doesn't reach near the same energy as the opening surfboard ride. Then we get to Gimmick Mountain Zone. And yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. A mountain stuffed full of platforming gimmicks. You've got wheels you have to charge up by pressing A to jump off of, mining carts, moving platforms, spikes on the walls. It's basically Sega throwing every gimmick they could think of into one stage. And honestly, the level itself kinda sucks. It's way more frustrating than it is fun. But I do find the boss here interesting. If only because I have no idea what in the ever-loving hell this thing is supposed to be. Is it a Triceratops? A pig? A bulldozer? I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not exactly threatening. Beating it is super easy. It just charges into the wall. You jump on it. Later in the fight, some rocks fall down. You have to avoid and rinse and repeat until the boss is dead as a doornail. It's a weird design, a simple fight, and honestly, if the thing didn't look so fucked up, it would not be a memorable fight whatsoever. Next up is Scrambled Egg Zone. And I'm pretty sure the reason it's called that is because tubes. Tubes everywhere. The whole gimmick in this level here is hopping into these tubes and getting launched to a random location. That's it. There is a little bit of platforming here and there, but most of it's just tube roulette. Honestly, if I were in charge of naming the zone, I would call it Tube Zone. At least that would be accurate. Then we get to Crystal Egg Zone, which is actually kind of interesting. The whole level is made of crystal, and it's got a pretty unique aesthetic. I mean, I'm not sure why Dr. Robotnik would want to build a fortress out of crystal. Feels like a weird design choice to me. But it looks cool, and there are sections where the Crystal Palace collapses, and there are some tricky platforming sections in the level as well. Overall, it's an okay level. Not amazing, but it's definitely far more memorable than Scrambled Egg Zone. And finally, we reach the last level, Time Hill Zone. Sounds epic, right? Well, not really. It's basically Green Hill Zone with a fast-forwarded day and night cycle. That's the gimmick. Time passes super quickly here. Morning, noon, night, all in one act. It looks cool, but that's about it. If you were expecting some wild time traveling mechanic or Chrono Trigger level nonsense, sorry. It's just a fast-forwarded skybox. Speaking of skybox, Act 2 is actually a remake of Sky Chase. Except this time, Metal Sonic is piloting the plane. Yeah, Metal Sonic apparently has a pilot's license now. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I mean, Eggman did build him, so maybe Eggman wanted Metal Sonic to be able to pilot the egg carrier, just in case something happened to him. I mean, it's a theory. A fan theory? Anyone? Oh, come on, that was really funny. You guys gotta give me that. Then we get to the final boss, Eggman, of course. And this fight, it's about as dumb as Sonic 1's final boss. Just some basic attacks, nothing special, and if you got the Chaos Emeralds, the game hands you 50 rings at the start of the fight. Meaning, you can go super and basically become unkillable. It's not even a challenge. But the real kicker is after you beat Eggman, he jumps into Big Arms. Yes, that Big Arms. And steals the Master Emerald. Why? Who knows? The game never explains it. It just ends. I sat there like, wait, what? It's one of the most confusing endings I've ever seen in a fan game. And yeah, that's the Sonic 2 8-bit remake. It's an odd one. Definitely not a fan game I'm gonna come back to. It's not one of my favorites. But it's not horrible either. If you want some dumb fun for about an hour, you could do worse than this. And do not consider this a personal attack on the developers of this fan game. They probably put a ton of effort into it, and I'm sure they had a lot of fun. I personally just didn't like the product they put out that much. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone who designs video games starts somewhere. If you keep pecking away and learning, you will eventually make something great. If you like the channel and like the video, I consider liking and subscribing. And also, if you want to support the channel, check out my studio's game, Nova Rebellion, which is out on Steam right now. Links will be in the description, as well as links to our Discord server. And I would like to personally thank you for watching. This is Troy Schultz, the Anti-Gamer Slayer, signing off!